Hello, Sunday evening. Hope everybody is well and ready for the new week coming. So, as usual, as I say, I think the start of every stream, I'm behind. But I think I'm close. I think I got everything up. I think I have my mic on. Yes, I have my mic on. All right. So, what we're going to do, we're going to get this Claude going on. Let's see, how do I say? Well, we're taking Squire, which is a personal assistant agent I have, and it is not OpenClaw, by the way. I only say that because I think mine's different. So, especially with the memory, and we can talk about that later. But it's a personal assistant that can connect to Google Calendars, track, task, list, notes. It has full autonomy to write to the VPS, so it can basically improve itself or build on its own code base. It can write scripts to, spin up temporary things that we might need. Like the other day, I had it do one for a tracking form for me for work, where I have these objectives. I have to. Sorry, I'm kind of just still trying to get things straight here. All right. So yeah, you can spin up scripts to try to or to track different projects for me. Basically, whatever it needs, it has full autonomy to build anything that I ask it to build. It's connected to my email. It has its own email, and then the memory system is totally unique, I believe. It's not a retrieval memory system. It's actually a generative memory system. So as we extract entities from the chat conversations that you have in your notes and list and reminders, all of that stuff gets synthesized, and there's a living summary that's created and is maintained, and that is injected into the context. So when you have a conversation with the agent, which is Sonnet 4.6, it comes in basically knowing about you. So what we're doing, though, is we're taking that project and we're creating an open source ready project. And we are about finished. We're just running some last minute tests. So that's kind of what I'm getting them going here on. So what I'm telling them to do is switch to Mandrill, which is this database, project management database that I have. That it's the first tool that I ever built, and every project I build starts and goes through here. So this is how I can maintain from day-to-day projects and things that I do. And it's the way I can have multiple projects going at the same time, because there's no way I could keep up with it if I didn't have this to do that. So we track everything by project. So these are the different projects up here. We're actually going to be working on, so let's go ahead and switch. Oh, we're there. So, Squire OSS. And this is actually a handoff from last night where we left off. And I'm going to have this Claude come in, and it's going to read the last 5 context, and that will kind of get it up to date and know what's, what we're working on, where we left off, because in this handoff, it should even say, I know somewhere in here it says, this one's a little chatty. I will say that this is a long handoff, but it's going to say in here, what's next to do. So that's how I start and end every session, and then all the work that's done in between gets saved in here as well. That's what I'm doing here, is I'm telling them to go to Mandrill, and then the project is Squire OSS, and then the context get recent is the command for it to read the last 5 context. And then I'm just telling it where I know we are. We're finishing our test and believe we're ready for the smoke test. And we're going to get that confirmed right now. Oh, we need music. Way too quiet. And if anybody is still watching, that was not my best intro. But it gets better, because we're going to do real work. This is not a polished show by any stretch of the imagination. This is a show, hopefully, where you can come in, and if you're new, you can learn, and you can ask any question whatsoever. There are no dumb questions, especially in this field. There are 0 dumb questions. So that's what we're going for here, is just kind of like learn together, and we build and we learn. I think that's the 2 things you have to, I at least for me, I'm the kind of person, I can't just sit and read a book, and I've got to read it and do it, or do it and then read it. Sometimes it's the way I do it. Just do it first. So again, if anybody is watching live, tell me where you're watching from, or say hi, or tell me a project that you're working on. Are you an Anthropic person? Or are you open AI? Are you open source? It's wide open. We can talk about anything. We can talk about anything except politics. We're not talking about politics. We can talk about anything else, I think. How about politics and religion? We don't talk about those 2. Anything else we can talk about. We don't want to look at that screen though. I don't know why I left that up. All right, so it went and read the context. It knows what we're doing. It says we left off at stage 1, security test, 113 passing. Stage 2, install smoke. We got a partial of that done. Yeah, this is what we got to do. The test fresh install. Yeah, I misspoke. That's why I have Mandrill. Like I said. And man, I got a good example from 2 nights ago. I've got to find it on my video and make a separate video of it, but it's a great example of how it saved me. Or saved a lot of time, I should say. Not saved me. Let's go look at that a second. I want to look at it. See if I can. Where is it? Should be in there. Don't know where it's at, so I'm asking it to tell me where that is stored at so we can take a look at it. Well, I was in the wrong directory. That's right, Brian. Come on, man. Come on, man. Gotta do better than that. Gotta get in the right directory. What do we got here? So it's going to copy this repo to a temp directory. Walk through every step from README, reports, pass, fail. Setting it up. So we got Docker, we're good. All right, we're gonna run it and see what happens here. Come on. Thought they fixed this. right, we're gonna run it. I'm not putting that on screen here, brother. All right, I'm gonna have to put you all off on a different screen for a minute. I don't think anybody's really watching live anyway, but we're gonna make sure. Let me put you over. Oh, I don't have it on there. I'm gonna have to add it. Gotta do it over here. Change it this way. There we go. Just gotta turn the camera off. Okay. Let me take care of this API key real quick and we'll get back at it. Remember where I put them. Remember where I put them. I got it. I got it. So then I need to... Yeah, I want to do it this way. I'm going to stash it in a file. All right, let me just make sure it doesn't do anything dumb and display it on my screen real quick here. All right, I can bring you all back now. There we go. Well, so we're gonna run this time. We had a little bit of an issue before I brought you back, but I think it fixed it. Having some issues here, looks like. I'd be curious of anybody's experience with GPT 5.5. I'm coming around to that model. It's pretty smart. I haven't formed a great opinion yet, but the personality for sure is not as dry as 5.4 and 5.3 actually. Should have done that. It's a time that it's a good time that nobody's watching. So we're gonna clear that out real quick. We're gonna clear it out. Come on, man. forgot to hit start recording. But that's okay. Got it now. If I can get somebody in here, we'll talk about APIs later. I got something kind of ready to go. If we got anybody that's interested. Or I might just talk about it to myself. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I'm having a time with my Stream Deck that I built and my new Linux and OBS. It's the same issue I had before when I was on Omarchy. I love Omarchy because the tiling, it's so fast, it's clean. But I struggle with getting OBS and overlays and everything to work right. But that's part of Linux. It's really a Chromium problem, I believe. Because this OBS, I think is it flat pack? I think this one's the flat pack. It doesn't have browser source. And that would solve all of my problems. But I'm pretty sure the version that has browser source, I've been back and forth so many times I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it creates an audio issue. But it's been one of those rabbit holes, whack-a-mole. I get smart enough and more time, I'd fix it. When I say fix it, I mean I build a better OBS. There's no psychosis.
This is number 11. Stand erect with your feet apart, elbows bent at your sides. Now stretch your arms forward while turning your thumbs inward and down. Forward, back. And with the back of your hands together. Forward, back. Palms up. Forward, back.
Still trying to get this test install to pass. So what's going on now? We're 10 minutes into this. Oh. Man, that coffee's good. It's really good. I shouldn't be drinking coffee at 9:41 on a Sunday night, though. Okay, I'm gonna have to interrupt this thing here in a minute. Starting to get impatient. I've given it 2 attempts here to fix. That's actually 3. So 3 strikes and you're out. I wish there was a way to have better stream music for the poor people. Oh, it says monitor armed because it's waiting on this test. While it's running, I'll prep nothing. Just wait for the events. I gotta screenshot that. I gotta screenshot that, man. You'll monitor nothing and you'll like it. It's cracking me up while it's running. No, while it runs, I'll prep nothing. Oh my goodness. Why is that so funny to me? Just wait for events. Why even say that? Why output those tokens? Oh my goodness. I think that's what they call a hook. I just posted that on X. That's funny, man. Did it stop on me? Or did I hit escape? What happened here? I'm gonna repeat these words back too because it's just that damn funny. It's that funny to me. Oh, this is really making me laugh, man. It's a shame nobody's on here to laugh at me laughing at this. I'll do nothing is a weird thing to announce. Yep, that is kind of weird. That's what I was thinking, Opus. Oh, Lord. I'm easily amused, man. Easily amused. Come on. Nobody on X. Nobody on YouTube. Nobody on Twitch. It always says there's one viewer, but I think it's counting my stream manager. That doesn't count, Twitch. Well, I'll tell you what. While we're waiting, and since I'm recording, let's go take a look at APIs. And what are APIs? So it's basically just a way that software can communicate. It's how one software can talk to another software. It's how your phone app can talk to the cloud. It's how well, not all, but it's how a lot of your data is transferred back and forth. And it's called an API call. And this is a very common analogy because it does work really well. If you think of you as a client, and this is a term that's used in the API world, a client or your app on your phone, and then you've got a waiter. If you're in a restaurant, the waiter's going to come and take your order, and then it's going to take that order and send it back to the kitchen. So that's the actual API call. That would be your waiter. So it's going to take your order, take it back to the kitchen. It'll probably come back. That waiter would probably come back and, check on you. And then it's going to go back and get your food, and then it's going to bring that food back. Then your menu is going to be your API documentation. And if I can remember where I put it, yeah, it's right here. So this is a weather API that you can call. And this is their documentation. And it's, let me see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, it'd be a lot better, wouldn't it? So you see this curl command. That's just a command to make an API call to this URL. And this is the town in Berlin. And then the format is 3, which it's going to give you these 3 data points back. And that just, this 3 translates to, you're going to get the city, the icon, the weather icon, and then your temperature. And here you can see where we're doing, or they're doing 3 different cities. So this is your API documentation. So this is, before getting way into the weeds here, this is where you could come and figure out what we're going to talk about in a minute, the schema, or your format of your API, your structure of your API call. So that would be your menu. That's your documentation. And then the kitchen is that server on the back end. So on your app, on your phone, you have, that's your front end. And then you have a back end where all of your logic, and this is not all the time true, but for the most part, where most of your logic and your data is stored or retrieved or manipulated. So that would be your back end. And that's where that data is getting sent to. And then you're waiting on some kind of response, and is what you would get back. So that would be the analogy of the kitchen. So again, if you're the client, you come down and sit down at the table, and your waiter comes, that's the actual API call, because it's going to take your data, your order, and send it back to the back end to the kitchen. It's going to deliver that order back to the back kitchen. And then that's where that data is manipulated or stored or changed or deleted. Just like in the kitchen, that's where your food is made. So your actual order is the request. So that's what rides on this API call, is going to be your request. And then the actual food that you get back, as I said, is the response. That's the actual substance of what you made that call for, right? You made a call for something, and this is what you're getting back, the response. You can have special instructions, which would be your parameters in the body, and the body is just where your main message is going to be. Then you're going to have receipt status, and that's going to be a status code that you've received back. So if you want to know what API stands for, it's for Application Programming Interface. So it's that interface, is that communication back and forth. And here we're going to be able to see it a little bit clearer. You're going to be able to see an actual round trip. So this is the client. Again, going back to that kitchen analogy, this would be you sitting down at the table. This would be the waiter. This is the actual call, taking that order back to the kitchen, or in this case to the server, the back end server. And then you're going to wait on the response, and it's going to get sent back. So it's going to just look like that. It's going to get sent to the server. You'll get a response back. Just a simple little loop. So the client is what's asking for something. Like I was saying, it's you're requesting something from back here. All right, let's go deeper. Our client and server fixed roles. Clients and servers are roles, not machines. A backend service can be a client when it calls another API. A laptop can be a server when it hosts something. So in this case, your laptop could be a client, and it could be a host or a server. So when you make a call, you have to have an address, right? Like you have to have somewhere that it's going to go. And those are called endpoints. And your endpoints can perform different functions, or are going to do different functions depending on where that call is sent. So in this case, you're sending this call to users. This one would be to orders. This one would be to products. And then this one would be to notes. So if you have an app with a list of users, and those users have orders, okay? And then in those orders are products, because products make an order. Then you might have notes assigned to those users as well, right? So if you wanted to add a user, you would make a call to api.example.com/users. That would be the endpoint. This is the address. It's going to this API or this URL with this address of /users. And then if you wanted to look at the orders, you would do the same thing and just replace users with orders. So if you think about it, it's like each place has its own door. You have this door, that door, and each one of them you have to label which door you want to go to. All right, REST style versus RPC style. Modern APIs almost always organize endpoints around resources. Nouns like users, orders, dealers. This is a REST convention, and that's what this is right here. Again, users, orders, products, notes. It's actually pretty simple, and it's a nice way to keep things straight, because you know where you need to go. It's going to be the name for the most part of where you're going to go. That's a terrible way of saying that. All right, so the HTTP method, these are the actual verbs, and we're going to go over the terms again here in a minute, but this is what's called a method, and it's what kind of call are you making, right? What method of a call are you making? So you can have a get. So if you were making a get call to dealers, then it's going to read the dealers and return the list of those dealers. So you're getting a list from the dealers. Or you could get, if you had an ID out here, because each dealer would have an ID stored to it. So if you put /dealers and then the ID, then you could get one single dealer or that particular dealer. So you've got get, and then you've got post, and that's going to basically just create a new dealer. So if you wanted to add a dealer, your API call would be a post API call. So far, if you wanted to search or fetch, it's get. If you needed to add, it's post. If you want to edit a dealer, change or modify something within that dealer's portfolio, that would be a patch. The patch is basically edit. And then delete is just like it says. You're going to remove a dealer, you would make a delete API call. All right, the anatomy of a request. So this is what it would look like in code, and it looks confusing at first, but it's really pretty simple, honestly. I mean, you can get large API calls, like there's a lot of data in them, but the basics are going to be the same. So here you're making a post call, just like we talked about back here, right? So this would be creating something, right? And we're going to see what we're creating in a minute. And this is the URL we're going to, right? So it's https api.example.com. Then here's that /notes, right? So we're going to add a note. This is your authorization. So most API calls are going to have some kind of auth. So, there's protection there. So who's trying to add or delete to that database or change the data or manipulate whatever you're trying to manipulate has the proper authority. That's where this goes right here. And then content type, and that's called your header. Then your content type is what kind of call is this, and it's a JSON call. That's a file format. And right here is the note. So this is the body, right? This is the body. This is the actual meat. This is what the request that you're making. So we're gonna add a note, and we're gonna add dealer ABC flooring, and then the note is gonna be needs updated display samples. So once this call is made, and you get a response back, and we're gonna talk about that next. You're gonna know, or once you get that response back, it's gonna be stored in that database. All right, so your status code. So every time you make a call, you get some kind of status code back. At 200, it means everything was good, everything went through fine. So that's what you want, a status 200. 201 is it was created. So in that case, where we added a note, you would get a 201 back confirming it was created. 400 is a bad request. 401 means it's unauthorized, which means right here, if you needed this key, which is what that's called, if you needed this key, and you didn't have that key, then you would get this 401, unauthorized return. 403 is a forbidden, 404 is not found, and then 500 is internal server error. It means there's something wrong on the back end. The call went, but your server's failing. So just like we just talked about your auth, and that's writing in that header. If you send without a key, this is what you would get. You get unauthorized. And then if you have that proper header with the key information in it, you'd get a status 200 back. Your REST and API. So, all right, yeah. So here, what we're showing you is your app. If you got a GPT app on your phone, all of those API calls are, being handled inside that app. But you can make an API call directly to ChatGPT or Claude, and you can do it with a single. Well, Claude's done. You can do it with a single curl command. You could curl this API, which would be, do we have it on here? Well, it's actually openai.com/whatever the path is for the model. I don't have that right now, but the point there is, let me go back. The point here is this, you have API calls happening here that's all handled by the actual app itself. But you can make single API calls and get single responses back as well. And webhooks are basically the opposite of the client requesting something. This is your server giving you like a notification or saying something was updated, something was done. You can send a webhook back to the client and give an update. So yeah, so this represents, like we're talking about, this is a regular API call where, the app, the client makes a request to Stripe. They get an answer back, but Stripe might have a webhook saying, hey, that account's been updated. So it'll send a webhook, which is just a single call back updating your account. That's it. That's APIs. All right, where are we at here? All right. If anybody is watching live, say something in the comments. Tell me hi. Tell me where you're watching from. I can't have that much competition on a Sunday night that nobody's watching. It's okay though, because we're building something here. We're just getting this cleaned up, and then we're getting back on our little business project. So what we're doing here is we're running a test install in a Docker container and trying to work out the bugs so when somebody goes to try to install Squire, it's not a pain in the behind. So, and we're actually having, I think, more problem with our script than we are the actual install. Which again is why I want to do stuff like this, because I want to get better, right? Like I need to know. I'm not trusting these things 100% is what I'm saying. And the more I can understand about the code and what's going on, the better I can read the code, the better I can point it to the right section of code when we're troubleshooting or adding a feature. It's just always about getting better. I can promise in this field there is never a shortage of something to learn. Never. There you go. Reproduce the failure. I like seeing that. I see it now. Sure you do, Claude. Sure you do. I see it now. All right, I think we're going to pass this time. And I'll tell you, to be quite honest with you, I'm probably going to pass because either they got it right or it's cheating. They will cheat. They don't think it's cheating. They're just trying to get to the end point. Oh, that's what they say. They say they don't. It's not cheating. All checks passed, ready to ship. Told you. Been doing this a long time, man. Feels like it anywhere. Actually, not a long time, but it feels like a long time. I think it made a call to Mandrill, but we're going to save this. I'm already on it. Okay. I gotta think about this, man. I don't think I'm gonna go to all that trouble right now.
Wake up, feel the sunshine, see the roses bloom. They bloom for you. Breathe in, life is in the air waiting for you. It's all for you. Something, isn't it something lovely?
This is what I'm gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna learn something together. I'm terrible at Git,
Something, isn't it something
but I want to use the CLI.
love is in the air. Can
So
you
what we're gonna do here is we're gonna split this. Actually, let me just close this.
on my skin that take me to the moon? It's all for you.
Let's see. I think I got it.
Easy. That
Don't
is
remember how to start it though.
feels loving you.
All right.
Loving
Let's just.
you. Something, isn't it something lovely? Isn't it lovely? Love is in the air. Oh, can you feel it? Something, isn't it something lovely? Isn't it lovely? Love is in the air. Oh, can you feel it?
This is not what I was thinking it was. Just remembered it. Yeah, lazy kit. That's what I want to get. Okay, let's see what I can mess up here. All right, so we're on OSS refactor branch. This is, why didn't I do this a lot sooner? This is gonna be so much better for me. It already makes more sense. I'm a slow learner sometimes. We're on OSS refactor. It's also the main branch. These are commits. No stashes. Okay. giving me a heads up about the decision I'm making. Well, that's very complicated. Yeah, I just don't do it enough. I need to do it more myself manually. All right, but we're gonna do it in the CL or see what we get here. One line, not online. One line. All right, so that's all our commits. Okay, so I switch to main, hit merge. No, that's not it. All right, here we go. I'm doing it. All right. There. Are we there? Oh. Get pushed. I don't think any. Reuse down to 0 paragraph. I guess this is. I'm gonna give it to him just to make sure. Just to make sure. Anybody watching live, tell me where you're watching from. Say hi. All right. I don't think anybody's on, so we're gonna shut it down for the night. 0, 0, 0. Until next time, which will probably be Tuesday night because I believe I'm taking tomorrow night off. But until then, this is Ridgetop out.